Ever watched a horror movie and then felt like something was watching you? Or maybe some straight up paranormal stuff started happening. Yeah, it freaked me out too. So I did what any sane person would have done. I dove into Reddit to see if anyone else has had these creepy post horror experiences.
Strange things started happening after watching a horror movie.
So let me start off by saying I'm a huge horror movie fan and I've seen all major horror movies out there. I pretty much only watch horror in my spare time and like watching anything paranormal. I find it very hard to be genuinely scared and most horrors don't really scare me. So I was looking for a decent horror movie to watch and I'm mostly into demonic, paranormal horrors. I came across a movie called The Dark and the Wicked. I looked it up on IMDb and it had a fairly good rating. So I thought I'd give it a try. I started watching it around 1 am and after I finished watching it, I was like, fuck, that was a really scary movie. That doesn't happen often and it freaked me out a bit. My wife was sleeping and I quietly got into bed because I didn't wake her up, but she woke up anyway. She asked me what time it was and it was almost 3 am at that point. I told her I watched a really scary movie and it freaked me out. She pretty much told me to shut the fuck up and go to sleep. She can't watch or listen to anything remotely scary. It's been like 20 minutes or so and I'm in bed trying to go to sleep and all of a sudden I hear an alarm go off. Initially I was thinking it was coming from a neighbor's house, but then it sounded closer. My wife woke up and she said it could be the car alarm. I looked outside and it was in the car, so I thought I'd go downstairs to check it out. The fire alarm was going off, so I put the light on and went into the kitchen and there was no smoke. I went into the living room and there was no smoke. All the appliances were off. I didn't think much of it, so I turned the alarm off and went back into bed. I told my wife we didn't make anything of it. I tried to go back to sleep again and I must have been in bed around 30 minutes or so. I heard the fire alarm go off again. I did the same thing, looked all around the house, no smoke, all appliances were off. I didn't have any explanation of it. I took the fire alarm off the ceiling and checked it. The battery was low, as this is one of the reasons why it would go off. The particular fire alarm, you can't change the battery. It has an expiry date and it ended in 2028. I didn't put the fire alarm back on the ceiling and threw it in the bin. I went back into bed and needless to say, my wife was pissed. She was like, I always tell you not to watch these kind of movies at night. We are Muslim and she thinks if you watch movies with demonic shit in it, it can bring negative energy to the house. I thought that was bullshit. After that day, I have second thoughts. I'm still going to watch horror movies. It's just crazy to think how we have lived in this house for 3 years and never experienced something like this before. It could be a coincidence, but it made me think. I have friends that have told me that similar things have happened to them in the past. Let's just comment it on something like this. Be careful what you bring into your house and what you watch. The fear and adrenaline of being scared opens you open to the content in movies and music, etc. There are people who prey on people by praying the worst and conjuring demonic energy to sell in movies and media. Even of course drugs. Always use discernment when picking out movies. Even if the reviews say it was good, is it really? Does it edify you or make you better? Or just going to give you a good scare for the night? If something just doesn't feel right, don't watch it or don't rent it. Your gut intuition is God telling you to not entertain whatever it is. Someone told me that watching those kind of things points to a predisposition to being attracted to and wanting to be around that kind of energy. That would, they said, make you more likely to be the kind of person that would invite things into your home, either knowingly or not. I have no idea if that's true, but it did make me never watch Supernatural. No, watching horror movies isn't going to open a portal to hell or attract ghosts. It might even scare ghosts or spirits away. If you consider Halloween became a tradition to scare spirits away with the scary masks, Maybe scary movies could have a similar effect, but we'll never know. When I first started seeing spirits, I had to stop watching horror movies because I was scared of attracting the bad ones. After doing stuff to heal myself and feel safe, and realizing that in real life bad spirits only look scary but can't really do more than impact my emotions and fears, I am now able to watch some mildly scary shows and movies again. Some scary stories I still gotta stay away from. I watched the Fear Street 1994 movie, and one of the things that happened was so disturbing for me. I don't want to watch the sequels. In summary, go ahead and watch it if you can handle it. It will bring your vibration to a state of fear while watching it, but it won't stick around forever. Okay, so it's not that bad. So I went down to rabbit hole and found 5 chilling stories where things got seriously weird for people after watching a horror movie. Nancy B told Weak and Weird about the chilling nightly visitor she had to entertain after watching The Conjuring 2. I wanted to send an email to let you know the strange things have started happening in my house after my husband and I watched The Conjuring 2. Everything was fine until the end of the movie when Lorraine said the name Balak. As soon as she said the name, our back door swung open and it sounded like someone came running into the house. When my husband went into the kitchen to check, there was no one there. For the last 3 days, we have heard knocking on our walls at night and the sound of someone walking up our stairs. I know it is because of that movie, and we are already talking about calling a priest over for a blessing on the house. There is something wrong with the movie. I will first say that I have had this weird sense with paranormal things since I was very young. It terrified me as a child, and I had several encounters with apparition growing up. But as I aged, I became desensitized to it, or used to it, and began to love anything scary or paranormal. Since getting married and having 3 kids, I haven't really thought of that kind of stuff or had time to. But the other night, I watched a documentary on YouTube by Zach Bagans called Hell House, which was supposedly true and was about a family dealing with a demon in their home. It got to a part when the little boy supposedly walked up the wall backwards in front of some CPS workers. Then I started feeling sick and had this dark evil feeling come over me. I started to become very scared and tried to calm myself and finally fell asleep. About 3 hours later, I awoke to the bedroom light flashing on and off very quickly. We live in a brand new apartment building, and this sort of thing never once happened before. I got out of bed and went to the light switch to flip it off, but no matter how many times I flipped it off, it continued to flash on and off. Those horrible feelings in my gut and that intense fear had returned. I knew something evil was near. After about 10 minutes of fighting the switch and being scared out of my mind, I went to our 18-month-old room and woke my husband, who was sleeping with our baby, cause he kept waking up, crying the past few nights. My husband looked at me like I was some kind of insane, walked in the bedroom with the light still flashed on and off. He flipped the light switch on the wall and it stopped. I couldn't believe I'd fought with the light for about 10 minutes with no avail. He comes in and flips it off immediately. That made it feel personal, like it only wanted to mess with me. After my hubby went back to bed, I still felt horrified. So I began to pray and recite the Lord's Prayer, and slowly that feeling of horror and dread lifted over me. It's taken a few weeks to be able to go upstairs to our bedroom and not be scared out of my mind. I know some will laugh, but the others that have lived through this unknown kind of events will understand what I mean. There is evil and there is things we cannot explain. Just because you yourself haven't experienced it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Gina Frost from the UK suffered through 40 years of terrifying hallucination after watching The Exorcist as a teenager. Just 1 week later, I was in my bedroom and I began seeing rats running up and down the walls. I ended up locking myself in my bedroom for weeks because I was petrified. I thought I was going mad. It took me about 9 weeks before I felt like I could go back into the world. Ever since then, I've been experiencing awful hallucinations that make me feel sick. I hallucinate about my own death. It's like I'm watching a film in my head where I'm being ripped apart and tortured, and it makes me feel ill. The hallucinations have taken over my life when it comes to social situations. Ever since I was 18, I have tried to avoid being in a social situations just in case I have a hallucination. Between the ages of 18 and 39, the hallucinations were erratic, but over the past 10 years, they have gotten worse. At one point, I was having up to 3 hallucinations a week, and each one lasted about 3 minutes. I often felt exhausted afterwards. I haven't been able to watch a horror film since then. Although things have gotten better for Frost since she started taking medications, her hallucinations still haven't fully gone away. Last night we watched the part of Conjuring 2, not all of it, since my son was scared already. My husband went to go put my son off to bed and slept with him. At almost 3 a.m., my husband came back to our room. He lies down in bed, and in our closet, we hear a sound of dishes breaking. My husband gets up and turns on the light, and the picture of us married, the beautiful picture frame, it stood broken into 2. I should have not agreed to watch that movie. All my stuff in my closet is put away so neatly. I'm still trying to understand how it could have flown and broken like that. Sorry to have bugged you, just thought you should know. People should never watch that movie. My sister and her boyfriend has been boasting about a movie called Pray to Devil. So I went over to her apartment to sleep there with my fiance to have a scary movie night, which is normal to us. My sister said the movie was so scary, but as we were watching it, we were all making fun of how fake the CGI looked. She asked me if scary movies scare me anymore, and we all agreed that scary movies just aren't as scary as they used to be. We also are horror movie fanatics, and me and my sister have spiritual gifts since we were younger. We got it from our mother's side, so we were big believers in the supernatural. I told her the only time I'll be scared of a movie is when scary shit happens after the movie. As the movie Exorcist traumatized me and my sister when we were younger. After we watched the movie, our bed, which was a bunk bed, started shaking, and we were screaming for my dad. As soon as my dad came in, it stopped, and that stuck with us forever. So we are watching Pray to the Devil, and we get to the scene where they are doing the exorcism on the pregnant lady. It was about 4 a.m. I had to use the bathroom really badly, so they pause it. So I go to the bathroom and sit down. I started peeing, and the door handle started jiggling. Then it stopped. Then it did again. Again a second later. So I'm like, haha guys, very funny. I got quiet to see if I can hear them by the door. I heard nothing. So now I'm 50-50 thinking, yeah, they're just joking. But I'm also thinking like I didn't hear anyone walking back. So after I used the bathroom, everyone is in the same spot, lying down on their phones, with the movie still paused. So I go in there and I'm like, you guys are so funny. And they all go, what? I'm like, why are you guys joking with me? They all looked at me so confused. And then I said, who jiggled the doorknob? And everyone swore up and down that no one left their spot. My sister even swore on her son that no one moved from the spot, and they all said I was lying. So I started crying and swearing on everything and everyone I care about, and holding my chest. cause now I'm scared. After I asked them to turn the movie off, they all looked annoyed at me. And we all ended up putting a funny YouTube video to fall asleep to. I look and whisper to my fiance and say, I really am not lying. And I asked him to do our Father prayer before we went to bed and ask in spirit not to follow us, as it is the only thing that eases my mind. When I fell asleep, I had a nightmare that my fiance was choking me, and then I woke up to a voice that said my name, Ariel, in a man's voice. I literally woke up and said, yeah, and no one answered me. So I look around half asleep and I say it again, yeah. I open my eyes and everyone is still sleeping. So I go back to sleep and I started having another nightmare. This time I wake up again and I heard my fiance's name, Ray. It was the same man's voice. I look around again and everyone is still snoring and drooling. I winded up not telling anyone about the voices I heard cause no one still believes me about the door handle. If you enjoyed this creepy dive, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you have ever had any paranormal experiences after watching a horror movie, drop in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.